In the last 2 months of his life, Dr. King faced the idea that civil rights alone could not solve the problem of poverty.
In order that they could recognize their problems, not only that, today many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. What we are faced with, and this is a reality. Now, when we come to Washington in this campaign, we're coming to get our check.
A friend is one who will not even consider giving his life for you. That's a friend. The one who will not even think about it. A friend is one who has always got desire to give and to keep back nothing. Always desire to give and not look for nothing in return. Everybody you name are with me for money and for what they can get. I don't have no friends. I wrote a poem that says, friendship is a priceless gift that cannot be bought nor sold, but its value is far greater than a mountain made of gold. For gold is cold and lifeless. It can neither see nor hear, and in time of trouble it is powerless to cheer. Gold, it has no ears to listen, no heart to understand. It cannot not bring you comfort or reach out a helping hand. So when you ask God for gift, be thankful if he sends, not diamonds, pearls, or riches, but the love of real, true friends. See, friends are very rare. So what I'm trying to say is this.
You don't have...
No, I got a lot of white socialists. Elijah Muhammed, the one who preached that the white man of America, number one, is the devil. He's been preaching. He's never mentioned England. England people have never lynched us, raped us, castrated us, tarred and feathered us, burned us up, pulled our sockets apart, stick knives and pregnant women to stomach, enslave us, rob us of our name, our knowledge, our trust. Elijah Muhammad's been preaching that the white man of America, God taught him, is the blue-eyed, blonde-headed devil. No good in him, no justice. He's going to be destroyed. His rule is over.
In the last issue of Muhammad Speaks, there was an article telling of the elimination of racial discrimination in Cuba, telling of how Afro and Latin Cubans lived in harmony. How does this jive with the devil concept of the white man and the idea that freedom can only be achieved through separation?
The Cubans don't refer to themselves either as white people or black people. They refer to themselves as people. You find the American white man is the one who has laid such stress on being white or being black to the American concept. I don't know anything about Cuba. The article was written by Howard, a UN correspondent who spent time in Cuba along with the son of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad when all of the students went. And they did say that they found a great deal of equality, freedom, and justice among the people of Cuba. So I think that in that direction, Castro has made a great accomplishment and contribution. But I haven't been there myself. Now, when you try and bring the same thing about between the American white man and the American black man, you're dealing with a man who used to have total possession over the black people in this country as a farmer has possession over his cow, his chicken, his horse. And this has created an attitude among American whites that they themselves find almost impossible to eliminate. And unless it is eliminated and until it is eliminated, the problem will get worse instead of better. I personally don't think it will ever be eliminated.
Well, how do you intend to gain possession of this land that you want, and how do you intend to get there?
That's a good question. You came to this country, the land was inhabited by the Indians, and you didn't have any problem then. Number one, we didn't have any trouble getting to America because the white man... By that I mean we weren't pilgrims, we didn't come on the Mayflower, and we didn't come from Europe, and we didn't come of our own volition. We were brought here in chains at the bottom of the slave ship. And since we didn't pay transportation here, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says that the contribution that the black man made in this country, which amounts to 310 years of slave labor, for which we have never been given a dime or a cent, places a burden upon the American white man today for which the government should pay. And he says that our people should be allowed to go back to our own homeland, that the government itself should supply us with the transportation. and that they should supply us with the machinery and the tools necessary that will enable us to dig the soil and develop our own agricultural system and feed ourselves for the next 20 to 25 years until we are in a position to be completely independent and stand on our own feet. And he says that if the government does not want a mass exodus of black people from this country back to our own homeland, since we cannot live in peace together, mixed up on this continent, the alternative to that solution is to divide a separate part of this country into which our people can migrate, and in which the government, again, should supply us with the machinery and the tools necessary to establish our own independent society and our own independent country. And in this way, it will be creating a solution that the black man himself, our people, ourselves, can bring about if we have that capability. And for your clarification, because this has been brought up, some people say, well, why should the government do this? If this government can send billions of dollars to communist countries like Poland and Yugoslavia and to neutralist countries in Asia and Africa who have never made any contribution whatsoever to the sum net worth of this economy and country, and at the same time, this government feels that it is too much to set about something real to solve the problem for the slaves who made a greater contribution even than your people did, why the government doesn't even deserve to continue to function as a government. Historically, in America, the white liberal has been the one always supposedly who had the solution to the race problem. An example, the leading white liberal in American history was supposed to be Abraham Lincoln. He's the one who has been dangled in front of our people as a god who brought us out of slavery into the promised land of freedom. Martin Luther King last year was begging President Kennedy to issue another Emancipation Proclamation. If the Emancipation Proclamation of Abraham Lincoln was authentic and produced the result that it was supposed to, and if it had been sincere, it would have gotten results, then Martin Luther King wouldn't have to be begging for another proclamation and emancipation today. And although there are many whites who came here from Europe after 1865, they fit right into the whole overhaul pattern of exploitation of modern slavery that still exists in this country today. Because it's only a modern form of slavery that our people experience today, and white liberals, again, encourage us to join groups that they've set up that they call the National Association for the Advancement of Some Colored People from Ancient Slavery to Modern Slavery. Kennedy ran on a platform as a white liberal 3 years ago and said all he had to do was take out his fountain pen and put his name on some paper and our problem would be solved. And it was 3 years in office before he found where his fountain pen was, and the problem isn't solved yet.